J-Mac, what's going on, brother?
Doing good. I'm in deep in enemy territory. I'm in Chiefs territory. I'm actually at Ruskin High School. One of my buddies went to high school here. Going to talk to some of the football players here in the weight room here soon. But yeah, it's
I love that.
Our team hotel. We pull up to the hotel. There's the Chiefs band is there. They had a ticket kickoff luncheon. So we're deep in enemy territory right now.
Yeah, you are. You're also deep in barbecue territory. But I know Thayer's got a buddy from the islands that has some great tacos joint, I think. And I heard Joniak was telling Waddle and Sylvie that they were going to go get food there. I mean, you going for tacos with those guys, or do you want to focus on barbecue when you're in Kansas City?
I'm going to always go to barbecue route, but don't listen to Joniak because he talks a good game, but he's not going to show up. He's not going to go with them.
He doesn't leave the room, does he? He's just looking at his boards, right?
No, that's what he says he's doing. He's probably in there playing Fortnite or something like that. I don't know.
Studying his boards and playing Fortnite. I love it. What's your favorite KC barbecue place? Do you have one?
Hey, you know what? So usually go to Gates. My buddy takes me to Gates. Yeah. I think I've been to there's another one. It's called Q30.
Yeah, Q39, right?
Q39. Yep. Yeah. They're in here with me right now.
Awesome.
So they're queuing me up. Q39. So I don't want to disrespect the name.
Q39 is really good. We've been there a couple times. Apparently, it's like one of the favorites of Coach Reed, too. He loves Q39. What did you think when you heard that the starters are indeed going to get some run tomorrow night?
Yeah, I was excited, especially when you look at the way the game went last week against the Bills, who didn't actually play their starters. So, yes, our offense looked really well. Defense played, physical. They played aggressive, the type of style that Dennis Allen is trying to employ there in Chicago. It's good because they went out there, they played clean. They did what they were supposed to do. But we all know it was against a Buffalo Bills, non-starters out there. So I'm excited. And I know, Coach Reed here in Kansas City is going to play some of his starters as well. So I think it's good that, our guys get an opportunity to go up against, obviously a really good opponent, an organization that's a perennial powerhouse in the NFL, an organization that consistently makes the playoffs and competes for a Super Bowl. So it'll be a good test, especially with the long break that we're going to have here before our first game.
The running back room is taking on some injuries. I don't think it's anything too serious because the Bears haven't brought in a flurry of guys. But what do you think about just with, a little more than 2 weeks to go now until the opener? What is the sort of the state of that running back room and how you think things are going to get divvied up when it matters most once the regular season starts?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, with Roschon Johnson in and out of the lineup, and that's really extended. Last year had trouble staying in the lineup due to injury as well. Hasn't been available throughout the preseason. The best ability is availability. So we're looking at this group as a whole. Obviously, DeAndre Swift is going to be the lead bell cow. I think Kyle Monunga is going to have a prominent role. But you look at the two guys last week that really did well, Ian Wheeler, Britton Brown, made the most of those opportunities. And with Deion Hankins getting injured, they brought in the guy, Royce Freeman, as well. He'll get an opportunity to show what he can do in the game on tomorrow. So there's a lot of opportunity for these backs, but I still think it's up in the air in terms of how they're going to divvy up these carries. I think DeAndre is going to be the lead guy, but we know in the Ben Johnson offense, from what we've seen with the Detroit Lions, he loves to have a two-back system. So I'm interested to see who's going to be that number two, that formidable number two that's going to take some of the carries away from DeAndre Swift.
Okay, True Fan Travel and ESPN Chicago are teaming up for the ultimate fan getaway to Sin City. That's right. We're going to see the Bears take on the Raiders in Vegas at the end of September. It's going to be great.
What do you get? Round-trip airfare. You get a 3-night stay at Mandalay Bay. You got special live broadcasts of all the fellas. We're going to be there, guys. It's going to be Friday. It's going to be Saturday. It's going to be all the stuff on Sunday. It's going to be fantastic. You get to meet the ESPN Radio Chicago 1000 team, all-inclusive tailgate with all the bells and the whistles. Tickets to the Bears-Raiders game, which is probably the most important thing in the world, and there's more to come.
All right, spots are limited, so do not wait. Reserve your spot today at truefantravel.com.
Boom. Did Braxton Jones acquit himself nicely in the last game?
Yeah, I think he did okay. I think with Braxton, you talk about that battle. You look at Braxton, Ozdropilo, actually on the right side now. You talk about Theo Benedict, but I think at the end, I know a lot of people have their doubts about Braxton, but experience is key, and we hear Ben Johnson talk about that experience over and over again every time he takes the podium. That experience is something that you can't overlook, and he's got a lot of games logged under his belt throughout his career. So I think when it's all said and done, when the dust clears, I think it will be Braxton at left tackle for the Bears, in my opinion.
How much of a detriment would it be to this offense or some of the game planning, Jason, if they had to commit a lot of help to Braxton Jones throughout the course of, let's say, 70 plays, if there was, whether that's tight ends or Tooney doing something or running backs chipping, is that, how much does that negatively impact what Ben Johnson wants to do with his offense?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a negative impact. I think when you look at offense as a whole, a lot of teams will employ 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, or they'll have a running back stand and chip on the defensive end, in which they feel like that left tackle or that particular right tackle may not be able to handle. So there's ways that you can get over deficiencies in terms of, pass protection, especially at the left tackle position. There's ways that you can, shore that up, but also still being able to get guys out, on route, so that way you can create mismatches against defenses. And I think there's nobody better to do it than Ben Johnson. So I'm not really worried about how he's going to construct that offense if that left tackle is a position of weakness for the Bears moving forward.
That's good to hear. What did you think the best part of Caleb's performance was on Sunday night?
I think it was just, how clean the offense looked in terms of him operating the huddle. Obviously we saw throughout training camp, the inconsistencies in terms of the cadence. We've seen a lot of pre-snap penalties. So I think he showed a firm grasp and development of having complete control of the offense. Not a lot of penalties. I like the fact that he was real efficient on third downs. I know Coach Johnson practices situational football on a daily basis out there in training camp. You look at the third down situations he was put in particular, the one that he had with DJ Moore where he threw that out route. And he changed the protection because he knew he was getting interior pressure, but also being able to deliver that ball to DJ Moore with accuracy and anticipation, understanding the situation as well. That just shows growth as quarterback, and that's what you need to be able to do to be a successful quarterback in this league. And he's been able to show that so far.
All right, how is your squad looking? Is first game next Friday for you guys?
Yeah, next Friday we're working. So a lot of the same things, trying to make sure that we're efficient in all 3 phases. Going out there, hitting the grass every day, not trying to peak too early. We don't want to peak this week. We want to peak when it matters most, and that's the 29th on Friday when we take the field. So real excited about the work our team has put in and the opportunities that we'll have this season.
All right, love it. Go get some good barbecue. Have a great night tonight and tomorrow in KC. We'll talk to you next week. All right, buddy?
All right, guys. Take care.
All right,
Thanks.
Jason. We'll see you